Encounters. For those that tune in on YouTube, Facebook, your stream, and for those who follow my show with TikToks under APCS895. How's everybody doing this evening? I hope everybody is doing great here on Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. How's everybody doing this wonderful day? Hope everybody is doing great. How you doing, Real Mame? How you doing, Brother Andres? There we go. All shared out. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's doing great tonight. Yeah, I got me a good day's rest. I don't know how long I'm gonna go do the show tonight. I don't know. Depends, how many people showed up or whatever. But you know, yeah, I've been trying to get plenty of rest. Managed to do my workout, getting back on track. I could feel when I knocked it out. I feel pretty good about it. So I'm getting back in track big time. When the Heavenly Father blesses you, to stay obedient and do the works that He's telling you to do, it's a pretty awesome feeling. Let me do something here to this thing. Edit name. Okay. There we go. Took some of all that stuff out that I had down in there. How you doing, Brother Law Morgan? How y'all doing today? Man, spiritual warfare, brothers and sisters, is very real. You want to see what shirt I got on today? Well, there's a a clue of the shirt. Whoever's an old fella like me probably knows about this show. I think is in many platforms, but it's an old show from back in the day. Let's see if anybody remembers his name that's up here, because I got a print of the face of the person of this TV series back in when I was growing up. I remember this series. See if anybody get a clue what it's about. So that's the clue you got. Is right there up on top, the name. See who can figure it out, and if somebody can figure it out, then I'll show the rest of the shirt. We've got Real MMA, Lon Morgan. There's Beyond the Box. I don't know. I gave the question of does anybody know, and that's your clue. The clue is right there. Does anybody remember that name that's on his shirt? How you doing, brother Scott? Brother Scott probably knows the trivia question. He knows the answer. See, we were talking about this guy last time, brother Scott Baker. Some of y'all probably waking up and stuff, or going to sleep, one of the two. So I hit you up with a question real early on the show. Does anybody know the name? Oh, there we go. Brother Law Morgan said Night Stalker. The Night Stalker. So I'm going to show you all the shirt. Let me get a close up of it. Yeah. There you go. It was one of my favorite shows when I was a kid. It was always it's kind of like you remind me of well, there was no like Scooby Doo or nothing like that, but he was always running into all kinds of things. Yeah, Tom Jack. Yeah, I had Thundercats on yesterday. Yeah, we're old people. Beyond the box. We old people. Uh, but yeah, that's I was running to when we do the shows. Where's brother Scott Baker? I'll drop a link. See who wants to join me here, brother Scott. You want to join? Uh, I was running to stuff. We talk about certain things on the show, and the next thing you know, or it's not that I'm looking for it; it just happens that way. I think one day we were talking about that the show with Roddy Piper about the aliens, and I found a shirt of it, ran into it, and I bought it. And then I think it was with Scott Baker where we were talking about the show Kojak, and I ran into to the shirt. So I put it on, and then I think I was at a VA appointment, and they were showing the show. It's some channel over there, but they took it off, and some people were upset because they liked the show. But yeah, you can watch all the episodes. I think on Netflix, if I'm correct. Yeah, you go. They live. I got the they live shirt. I got this shirt, and I bought another shirt that I'll probably wear the next Monday, and it's dealing with the Gargantuans or something like that. I can't remember. Two big monsters that I said that the Patterson film looks like those people in costume from back in the days in the 60s and 70s making all those King Kong movies, Lost in Space, and all that. The Mesh, right? And I found a shirt that's got those gargantuan monsters fighting each other, and I'll probably wear that next Monday. But today I had to wear Kojak. It was one of my favorite shows when I was growing up. They would show it at 10:30 at night. No, it was around 11:30. They were showing me like 11, like they show like one or two episodes, and then that was it. So let me drop a link. See who wants to jump on here. See who wants to be my wingman. I see Scott Baker there. He's probably going to have his werewolf mask on or something. I don't know. Do you take a flea bath, Scott Baker? Let me try to fix this right here. Yeah, I just was sharing the shirt, brothers and sisters. Now that's too dark. Let me fix this lighting. There we go. So, I don't know if y'all seen the thing that happened to that wrestler with I think Rampage Jackson's son that he beat the living lights out of him. Uh, yeah, that was crazy right there. I guess Rampage Jackson's son has problems. I don't know, it was just a crazy situation that happened there, but that's the way those unclean spirits work. If somebody just throws a negativity and that's all they, I mean, when somebody's talking to themselves and they say they ain't gonna take nobody's crap and all this stuff, that person has negative attachments, right? It's not if they train, whatever sport he would do, but the way he did this guy, you know, picked him out, slammed him, and then just got on top of him. Where he was fighting somebody else, and it was just supposed to be like wrestling is fake. But this guy took out whatever aggressions or whatever he was thinking, just took it on this guy. You know, I'm surprised they haven't arrested the fella. Hopefully they'll press charges on him and they can arrest him. Yeah, when you got your dad putting stuff in your head when he knows he's got mental issues, then his dad is put stuff in his head, and all this stuff. Talking about he's gonna go over there and take care of business and all this stuff. That mentality is bullcrap. Trust me, I've dealt with people that thought that way. That thought the way Rampage Jackson, whatever the hell his name is, thinks. I used to deal with people like that, and I would overcome them with a Heavenly Love Foundation. Of course, I'm trained. When you train for a sport, you train offense and defense. So yeah, I would be able to handle a Rampage Jackson, a Mike Tyson. When you train your body to be a weapon, and that's what that guy. He trained his body to be a weapon, but he did it the cowardly way. The way he did him was messed up. You would understand maybe they were fighting and I said, okay, I got beef with you. Let's fight. Let's try to solve this problem. You're gonna fight him 1-on-1 or whatever, but the way he did him was dirty. You know, yeah, I think he's got issues. The issues that he's got is being demonized. I can't remember the kid's name, but yeah, he's got issues. And it's they're trying to say he's got a concussion and all this. No, it's not that. He's really got demons that are talking to him. I mean, I think there was a video where he's talking and like talking to himself. He probably thought he was a dummy, like a punching bag, a dummy, just going teeing off on it. I heard that the guy lost a lot of teeth. I think he was a veteran. The guy, he was a veteran. He lost a lot of teeth, and uh, he just I think he's still hospitalized. Trust me, man. Rampage Jackson and your son. Uh, the way y'all did this guy was dirty, but you're running to a real veteran. Said that this guy was a veteran that he does the wrestling because it gets him off the PTSD. I mean, you coming at me like that as an enemy, saying you come in with the intent to hurt, then I have no choice but to do what I have to do. And I won't hesitate to treat him or his father however I have to treat him. To subdue the enemy. But it's crazy all around. We can't leave spiritual openings. This guy needs help. I mean, seriously needs help. And I'm not talking about a psychiatrist's help. I'm talking about he needs to get rid of the demons that he's got. He's got a lot of negative attachments. I can see where these negative attachments are coming from his father. Generational curses. That's how they travel, brothers and sisters. And this kid is just it's messed up in the head. Taking blows to the head is not good either. If he's already got some kind of mental issues, then it's not good to get blows to the head because then you're gonna be like Chris Benoit. You seen what he did to his family. Yeah, nobody knows. It's crazy, man. How what he did. I mean, how are you not gonna know the wrestling is fake? Everybody knows wrestling is fake, right? That it's what it's called entertainment. It's to entertain the people. That somebody's gonna win, somebody's gonna lose. It's already written. The story's already written. How it's gonna happen. It's just for entertainment, you know. Oh yeah, he probably when he slammed him hard that his head bounced. When his head bounced on the mat, the guy's head bounced on the head. He bounced on the head. His head bounced. He was knocked out already. So when he got on him, he just started teeing off on him because he was already knocked out. When he slammed him, that's when he got knocked out. He was unconscious. His head got slammed, and is right up in this area here. In Spanish, we call it the nuca, and he was TKO'd with just that by that body slam. Yeah, the other one before even Benoit was Bruiser Brody. The way they did him, the Colons did him over there in Puerto Rico, or wherever the Colons are from. They did him dirty. Bruiser Brody, he was like one of my favorite wrestlers. You know how they killed him out there. I think the person that was there to witness that was because it was his friend was Tony Atlas, was Bruiser Brody's friend, and he was afraid that something was going to happen to him. So yeah, it was just crazy, and he was dealing with money because he was helping them. That he I guess he was part of that business or something like that, and there was a argument between the two owners, which was Bruiser Brody and I guess one of the Cologne, and that's what happened. There was a hit. They took him out. Well, brother Law Morgan, all that is covered up. I mean, me honestly, personally, I don't think he did it. I don't think Chris Benoit did it, but he was willing and dealing steroids. He was one of the guys that was giving it, supplying everybody with steroids, and I think Vince was going to court for all that, and there was all kinds of things happening at that time. You had the steroids, there was drugs. I mean, you see what happened to Eddie Guerrero. So yeah, they do all that to kill the pain and all this stuff, right? They're putting the body on the line, and most of the wrestlers, their lives uh, is they finish early by the age of 40, 40 something, between 50, they're gone. Just like, well, Hulk Hogan is old, he was old, but they're saying they're trying to. Some people are trying to say that what happened to Hulk Hogan was that it was set up. That somebody took him out, saying that the doctors took him out. Some vein that controls oxygen going to the brain that it got severed. That's in his shoulder or something, and they cut it, and it cut the circulation going to his brain, and that's what killed him. That's what they're saying, but a lot of speculations. How you doing? Catch your conversation with GNA. If somebody would do it, the only person that I could think of in the Chris Benoit case that had something to do with it, if if y'all know who it was, Kevin Sullivan. But he's gone. He took that to his grave because Kevin Sullivan used to be married. He used to be with a woman. He used to be with Chris Benoit's wife. So if somebody had something to do with it, it would be Kevin Sullivan. But nobody knows. Just speculations. Yeah, a lot of these things, man. There's been yeah, it's really crazy. Chris Benoit used to be like one of my favorite wrestlers because I used to see Kevin Sullivan. He used to be when he was younger in his prime. Man, he would take out everybody. Didn't matter who he faced. He faced Bruiser Brody, Toto. He faced Kamala, Toto. He faced a lot of this big name wrestlers, Toto, and he would take them out. So he was a tough guy. You know, that's what I'm saying. If somebody did something, you know, but I don't know what the deal was there. And you remember when he was in WCW, he had the little cult thing, the group that he had, you know, but that was part of the show, or was it? I don't know. They consider themselves to be in some kind of cult. Chris Benoit's wife and Kevin Sullivan used to be like in a cult. And I always felt something in that nature, you know, but who knows? I would assume that they know the people in the wrestling business. They know what's up. You know what? They know what everybody does and stuff like that. But anyways, yeah, I can talk about wrestling. I could do a whole show about wrestling. I was a big wrestling fan when I was a kid. I'm talking about the old wrestling from back in the day. I used to watch wrestling with my grandmother. WWF, uh, but I would watch it WWF in Mexico translation, and of course I will see a lot of movies from the this wrestler from Mexico called El Santo, masked wrestler, with my grandmother every time, or the other one was called Blue Demon, which think his son or third generation is a wrestler now. I think I've seen him wrestle on AEW. Yeah, yeah, El Santo man. There wasn't a party you couldn't go to where they had El Santo toys, little figurines of El Santo. Someone had a little parachute where you could throw them up in the air. You know, remember those little soldiers that had parachutes? You throw them down there. Some El Santo had the little parachute on them too. Where you throw them up in the air and the Santo come flying down. Yeah, he El Santo has a lot of movies actually from back in the day that he will make dealing with I guess horror movies. It'll be like some title will be El Santo contra la momia. Well, El Santo means a saint, right? The saint versus the mummy. El Santo uh, contra el murciélago o el hombre vampiro against Dracula, you know, and against a wolfman and stuff like that. And those are like way old shows. You still young, K Dog? Yeah, you're young, man. Yeah, I remember when I used to have all those WrestleManias on DVDs. Well, at one time they were on VHS at the Blockbuster. If you remember the Blockbusters and the Hollywoods, where you could go rent movies, and then they went to DVDs. Then they just did away with all that. I think that, but the only thing that's left is the Redbox that you go rent a movie Redbox and uh, you go and look and see what movie they got and you can rent it out. But it's kind of like people really don't watch too much DVDs anymore. They went they're kind of like outdated, just like the VHS. I used to have man, I had stacks and stacks of VHS movies. I had to get rid of them, man. I'm talking about thousands. Any movie you can think of, I had it. I had a collection of VHS. Then I had a collection of DVDs. I think I still have the DVDs in my closet. But nowadays you watch anything on like on Netflix, or know there's certain sites that you can pull up and you can watch movie. You just Google the title on there and it'll pop up. Your uncle was a jobber. Cool. Yeah. I used to have a TV. When they started making all the flat screens, or the projector TVs and stuff like that. People were getting rid of the other TVs, the square ones. And I went to a garage sale, and it was a big square TV. I bought it for $5, and he had a VHS player and a DVD player. They were just trying to get rid of it. Then I bought it for $5. I brought it home and it worked. It was color TV and everything. But now we have the smart TVs. So those are pretty cool. The smart TVs, technology, man. Well, yeah, we were talking about that K Dog. The dude should for the everybody knows that wrestling is fake. First of all, right? Fake. So I don't know if he's ever been a wrestling fan, or where the hell Rampage had his son hidden. I'm thinking that his son is all messed up in the head because of Rampage Jackson, that he's jacked up. I believe he needs psychiatric help, but mainly spiritual help to get rid of him free of the demons. Uh, yeah, you can see where he was talking to himself. That he said he's not going to take no shit for nobody. But if you don't want to take shit for nobody, then you shouldn't be doing the things that you're doing. You shouldn't be in the UFC or wherever he was at. I don't know. I didn't even know Rampage Jackson had a son training or competing. You shouldn't be you shouldn't be doing that. You know, if you're soft, if you're soft, right, but you're not strong mentally, don't be doing that. Take care of yourself first before you try to do anything else. Yeah, his freaking dad. He's got issues, man. I mean, how you not gonna see that your son needs help? The tough love shit, that shit ain't gonna help out. You know, that ain't gonna help him out. That dude's got some serious issues, and he got himself in some trouble now. Uh, the only thing they need is the guy's consent to press charges. If you press the charges, that's it. They're gonna come for him. They got the proof of what he did. You know. Yeah, but his dad, you could see that he's got a lot of negative attachments. When you're talking to yourself and something's talking back to you, that's a form of bondage, brothers and sisters. That's what we're talking about. The spirit knows the spirit. You don't believe me? Uh, Play the video when he's talking to himself. If you really want to see if he's talking to something or something is talking back to him, because the spirit knows the spirit, uh, I would suggest put on your earbuds, crank it high. If there's unclean spirits around him putting stuff in his head, you're going to hear them because they're going to be saying something to him. So that's my advice to whoever is viewed all the footage. Yeah, that's crazy, man. And of course, the veteran, he had a spiritual opening too. He's already fighting his own demons. That's why he supposedly did the wrestling to because he's fighting PTSD, combat veteran and stuff. God forbid that this guy. God forbid. That's also we need to keep him in prayer because he's a veteran and he's seen combat. I'm a combat veteran, which I had to do what I had to do in combat. God forbid that when he wakes up and he sees himself, how messed up he is, that PTSD don't kick in and he go after this guy, right? And the PTSD kicks in and he's going after him. He's not going to go fight him UFC style. He's just going for one thing, and just to take him out. That's what I said. God forbid that, right? That's why I always say here in Spiritual Encrypted Encounters, I always maintain a Heavenly Love Foundation. And Rampage Jackson, you're listening to this. UFC is just a sport. It's not even a sport. It's all staged and set up, right? It's set up. I'm just telling you, uh, I'm a combat veteran, and what I didn't have to throw a single punch. We just took care of business and it eliminated the enemy. So God forbid that there's they come after your son. That's all I can say. And they ain't gonna be probably nobody to break it up because if they come for him, then he's not gonna come to talk to him. He's not gonna come to set up a fight. If they come for him, is to take him out. I'm just being honest about it. There's nothing that Rampage Jackson will be able to do if they come for him. He places himself in the line, then they're going to take him out too. But hopefully, this guy, I'm just saying the PTSD kicks in. And he's not alone. He's a veteran, so I'm more sure the brotherhood exists after the military combat. The brotherhood, your brothers, your combat brothers. But it wasn't like it would have been a whole different story if it would have been like a fight. Even if it was a wrestling match, but a fight. Like, hey, I got beef with you. I got beef with you. Let's handle it. Whatever happens, and we just shake hands, and that's it, right? It would have been that way, but it wasn't that way. It was this guy had issues. He took a match, something that's fake, and he just took it out on the guy. Freaking lost it. The demons took over, you could say. trying to eliminate the veteran that I mean, he did smash a can on his freaking head, so that right there doesn't help. And if the kid had issues already, or they just gave him a more of a reason to do what he had to do. But we'll keep them in prayer. Let's pray for them, brothers and sisters. 'Cause I feel we need to pray for everybody involved in this, because the unseen enemy always is trying to find a spiritual opening to cause more division, and to it wants division to destroy. So we're gonna pray for what was his name again? We're gonna pray for him. We're gonna pray for him to do the right thing, because we're gonna get rid of the negative attachments that he has on him right now. This is Deja Jackson, right? Or what was his name? Raja. Raja. Heavenly Father, at this time, we would like to play for Roger Jackson and that wrestler, the veteran, as we place heavenly spiritual crosses on both of them from head to toe. As we're placing these heavenly spiritual crosses on them, uh, we like to tie, bind, and rebuke the generational curses that's affecting Raja. Any if there's any witchcraft or necromancy that's affected him. As for the veteran, we're we're praying against war, anything that he's seen in war or did in war. We type and rebuke any witchcraft, necromancy, unclean spirits, anything dealing with war. We type and rebuke it in the name of Jesus Christ. For the Heavenly Father to get rid of any negative attachments that is going through, any hatred, anger, vengeance. Um, we type and rebuke these unclean spirits that are affecting him, for him to be set free from the bondage, so he can see the error of his ways and to do the right thing. Through this we pray in Jesus Christ's name. Amen. Yeah, I don't follow this people at all, man. I don't know who they are. Uh, I know the only person that I knew of the faces was Rampage, because I think he came out as on the A team, wanted to be Mr. T, but we got it was he came out on the A team, and I think he came out. Yeah, it was on the A team, and I think he came out. I don't know if he came out on the Expendables or not, but I think it was the A team that he came out in. And of course, in the UFC. Yeah, me, I believe in the power of prayer, brother and sisters. If you have a werewolf story, brother K Dog, jump on. Here, I'll drop a link so you can share it. I normally do werewolf stories on Wednesdays, but if you have one, man, and uh, we'll place it here. Yeah, I would have been able to. I was in the military, I trained hard, man. I was in shape. I could handle any of those people if I wanted to. Uh, all those guys in the UFC and stuff. I will see it as a man. I've seen so many. When you train and you train officers in defense, the openings, and a lot of those people, they consider themselves to be untouchable and all this. I see the openings where they can be touched, and if I was in my prime, I know that I would be able to handle them. But that's not about what I do now. I'm trying to remember my age. I think 55 or 56. I can't remember. I'm older now. I still train and everything, just in case I have to defend myself, offensively or defensively, whatever the case. What I like to do, brothers and sisters, is just give advice. I could act like a tough guy. I mean, where I've been and what I've done, right? But that's not what I'm about. I'd rather have a love foundation in my heart, because anybody can act bad, but there's always somebody better. I'm just here to say there's always somebody better. Uh, but you say you have a werewolf story. There you go. I dropped the link there. You want to click on the link, K Dog? You're more than welcome to jump on so you can share your werewolf story. Yeah, come on. Just share your werewolf. Come and share your werewolf story. Let's talk, man. You don't have to show your face if you don't want to. Just click that link, and you can use the audio to speak if you like. I'm telling you, man, this kid, uh, to me, and what I've seen, uh, he was being demonized. Something, man, or I don't know if he was being demonized or he was on some stuff. Something happened had to happen. He might have been on some stuff, you know, for him to act the way he did. You might never know, and still they ain't doing nothing to the guy. To my understanding, I think there was a Rakishi's promotion or something like that. He's like that's his promotion. After that incident that happened, uh, WWE, the logo, they had to pull it. They pulled it off of there. The logo that they represent him in any kind of way, because then, yeah, something's gonna happen. But you know what? It is what it is. Go. So there's a link, K Dog. If you want to jump on, come share your story. You're more than welcome. Yeah, but that's crazy. How, I mean, when you see the video, there's a wrestling match going on. The guy already looks tired from the wrestling match. He's not that in that good of a shape. This veteran, and then he just goes and picks him up and slams him because there was supposed to be, I guess, a receipt. That, yeah, you just get me back. But when he slammed him, and he just started going crazy on him. I don't know if he thought he was in the UFC or what, but he or whatever, he started going crazy on him. But even the way that he punches, man, this guy is not a fighter. I'm telling you, he's just he's too slow. Like, from the mind, he's too slow. He's not able to react to a situation. But since this guy was unconscious, he just went crazy on him. You know. But let's not talk about them no more. uh, they should press charges, but we prayed, and hopefully they can come out to a good solution. But that kid needs help. He definitely needs help. And I've seen the some of the videos. Like I said, I haven't been keeping up with those people because I do my show. Yeah, but his father has a lot of bad influence over him. He always wants to pump him up. He talks to him like a kid. Disrespect. Is like like he's bad or he's from the streets or some crap. I mean, people knocked out Rampage Jackson when he was a fighter. So I don't. If he would have been undefeated, that's a whole different story. But yeah, he was defeated numerous times in different organizations that he got put to sleep or not got knocked out. But for him to still consider himself a badass like that, then he's fooling himself because a true badass would have a undefeated streak. I'm just here to say that when I was in the military, I was 40-0, undefeated. But like I said, that's the past. That's a past for me. I just try to help out people. Most of the fights that in the UFC, right? There's a difference from the fights that I was in to the UFC. The UFC, most of the fighters I have they go by weight, right? By their weight. So the person you're going to be facing is equal weight to you, or almost off, or they're nearby by your weight. They have to make weight. Well, the fights I was in, I had to fight people that were like 100, 200 pounds bigger than me. So I was fighting people of all weights, but I went 40-0. And in those fights, there was no cage. There was no referee. It's just you had to do what you had to do to overcome the opponent, and there was no rules, right? But it was literally fighting. I fought people of different backgrounds. Some were boxers, some were martial artists, and a lot of them come from different backgrounds, throwing their gang signs. So yeah, I faced many people of many heights, like different heights, different weights, but I was undefeated, 40-0, and this 40-0 fights were unfair fights because I will work early in the morning, KP, around 5:30. I'm doing KP. I'll work all day, and by 6:30 at night is when they'll make me fight these fights. So within 2 months, from Monday through Friday, I was fighting fights every day. When I defeated the first opponent, I said to myself, what do I have to do if I'm going to have to fight a person every day? You know, and I said to myself, well, just overcome them as fast as you can, right? Take them out, TKO them as fast as I could, and that's exactly what it did. So that's how I was able to last 40 fights within a two month time frame, was by defeating every opponent as fast as I could. And like I said, I was trained. I knew how to box. I knew martial arts. I would train my senses. I would do all kinds of training, right? I knew pressure points and stuff like that. But this people that I faced didn't know. They didn't know what I knew. Uh, but anyways, that was the past. But that's the difference from what I had to fight compared to like when I UFC and all that. All that's for entertainment, man. A real fight is not going to last no 3 rounds. A real fight it's going to finish fast when there's no, you don't got the gloves, you don't got the referee jumping in the way, telling you you can't do this, do that. A real fight ain't going to last that long. That was the difference between what I went through to all this stuff that's staged. Door dashing. Yeah, I will talk to that individual man. What's the name? Ray J. If somebody knows him, drop a link. Drop the link for me. Tell him to come on over, and I'll talk to him. Ray J. Drop the link and tell him to come talk to me. There's a lot of people with a lot of tension right now, right? I know he's got tension because when somebody does something to you, it plays over and over and over. I'm not sure that the replay of that the beer can hitting on his head replayed in his mind a lot. But after you do something, then now what you're replaying in his mind is him just going crazy on the guy. He's replaying over and over, which is not good. It's not good. Now you got people in the other camp, some of the wrestlers that are talking bad about them, and then some things happen. You're not going to make something positive, negative things. You gotta. Hopefully, the wrestler is good. I mean, I heard he lost a lot of teeth that he was choking in his own teeth because they're in his throat. So I don't know. Okay, let me see something here. Yeah, something doesn't seem right with that. Yeah, I don't know what state that they're in, but something like that happens. If something like that would have happened here in Texas, he would have already been arrested, man. I mean, God honest truth, he would have been arrested already. That's assault, you know. But if there was a verbal agreement for him to go off on them, that's about the only thing in which I believe there was. Because I believe he said, hey, I got you got to have a receipt. Just come at me in the ring, and just give me my receipt in the ring. If something, if something will cover him, will probably be that because there was a verbal agreement. But at the same time, if they want to press charges, then they have to go to court. And all that is going to come out of play. I mean, they're on social media, so they're from LA. Nothing going to happen. Yeah, there you go. What's up with Cain Velasquez? Didn't somebody try to do something to his kid and he beat the crap out of him? He kill somebody or hurt somebody, something like that. Cain Velasquez. What's sad, man? The sport right there, man. He doing time, yeah. He's doing time for his kid, but P Diddy's loose. And look at all the messed up stuff he's done. Time flies when you're having a good time. Uh, it's fluctuating with numbers up here as I'm looking. Yeah, one time I had a guy, you know, I think he see me talking about, you know, what I thought about the UFC and all that. How, you know, Dana's making a killing and he's just using the people, and he's probably laughing about it all the way to the bank. But you know, a lot of people after after the career, they're not normal, man, because they have all kinds of problems with their head and medical issues that it's not worth it because all the blows to the head, and what he wants them to do is fight for the 3 rounds, just all the way through, get beat up, make it exciting for the fans and stuff like that. And which that's not a real fight. They said a real fight doesn't last so long. So there was this guy, I heard what they're saying, and he said that he was going to come to Texas to kick my ass. It was coming from I can't remember where, Minnesota or somewhere. That he was some kind of fighter, and he showed me a picture of himself and blah blah blah. And I told him, look, man, I don't think you want to come to Texas. I said, I don't believe in that bullshit, the UFC, MMA, and all that crap. I said, I'm a combat veteran and I don't play. That's what I told him. So then, like about 2 weeks later, you know, time passes by, and I hear my doorbell ringing to my house. Open the door, it's that guy. The guy's looking at me, and I'm looking at him, and I get in my stance just to see what it was going to do. He made it all the way to my house, but then when he see me, he got scared, and he walked up. I said, "What's up? What do you want? What do you want to do?" He just turned around, walked away, got in his vehicle, and left. He didn't try to make the effort of throwing a punch or nothing, because if he would have tried to do that, that would have been the last punch he would ever take. Because I wasn't playing. You know, uh, but yeah, I don't know whatever happened to this guy. It was some white guy that was either in the UFC or MMA or maybe Bellator. I don't know. Yeah, he was real skinny and like a skinny guy. I'm thinking he probably weighed like maybe like 210, like 210, 215. Me, I was working out daily, and I was weighing around around 250 to 60 solid. So when he see me, he's like, "Oh hell no, let me get out of here. This guy's gonna eat me up alive." So he took off instead. He didn't try to press the issue, because then I would have said, "Come at me however you want to come at me, and I'll do what I got to do." And yeah, he would have been neutralized real fast. He found my house probably through my IP address. They can look through your IP address and stuff like that. To me, that's what he looked like, you know. But he see me, and he didn't want to do nothing with me, man. He just took off instead. Yeah, probably like 180, 190, somewhere around there. Looked at me. I think I have a picture of me around the time frame he came to my house. I was freaking. I was. He seen a beast, man. It's like, oh shit, this guy's gonna fuck me up. Let me get out of here. It makes Rampage Jackson look like a little kid. I just train, man. I've been training all these years. I still train now. No work, just keep doing something, keep the cardio going. Yeah, I was always getting threats. People. There's a guy that sent me a picture of a gun with all kinds of clips of weapons. That he was from Houston. That he was gonna do this and that. Blah blah blah. I've seen it all, man. Threats, death threats, and I was like, I'll be like, I just worry about it whenever it happens. If it's there, then I handle business. Yeah, right now I'm weighing, man, how much did they say I weighed? Two, I can't. I think it was like 265, 268. How much I weigh right now? But you take away the clothes, probably like 258. You take away 5 to 6 pounds. Normally it's like 8 pounds of clothing, right? But yeah, probably like 258. But that happens with age, and of course, muscle weighs more than fat. I'm a older fella. I'm a combat veteran, and I still train because you never know what could happen. You never know who you're going to run into, or if somebody, the way our politics is nowadays, you just can't be. You got to be ready physically, and you got to be ready spiritually. I think the spiritual war is more important right now. But physically, you still gotta keep your body ready at all times because you never know what you're going to encounter, what can happen. But spiritually is the number one thing, and that's why it's hard. Well, it's not hard. You can do it, but when I talk about always maintaining love foundation, I've overcome those 40 people that I was telling you about. I overcame all of them uh, with a heavenly love foundation because I would just do what I had to do and then let them be. I wouldn't do what Raja did to that guy. I could have, you know, you knock somebody out and they're passed out, they're not waking up they're knocked out for a minute and they ain't waking up. It's easy for me to you know, put my knees on their shoulders and just go off and tee off in their face where they're unconscious. But what good is that going to do? It's not going to do good. The only thing that's going to do is make enemies. So most of the people that I was forced to fight, I call them bandigo fights. Uh, I spoke to them afterwards when I would bump into them, just kind of like they were scared. They're afraid of me, and I'll tell them, hey, don't be afraid of me. Whatever happened, happened. Then I will tell them I'd rather be your friend than your enemy, and we would just squash it. Because they were being forced to fight too. So yeah, that's why I hold back. Now, unless they gave me no ultimatum, I have no choice but to, you got to do what you got to do. But the spirit knows the spirit. You could tell that old boy had a uncly spirit in him. The way he acted, what he did, you could tell. Then how he acted afterwards. You know what eventually is going to happen to this kid uh, if you don't get his act together. Something bad is going to happen to him on the path that he's on. Especially thinking he's a badass. Uh, that's not a good way to be thinking, because eventually bad things can happen. You know, but if his father's pumping him up like that, listen, making him think he's bad, that he's untouchable, that's where he's wrong. Uh, Everybody's touchable in this world, physically and spiritually. But it's more important to maintain your love foundation than have anger and hatred and be talking about how many people are disrespecting you. Uh, if you're in respect, well, you should be respecting others. But if people disrespect you, but look, if you're hanging out and you're doing the things that you do, I mean, that's part of your job, training to be a fighter. Where there's no respect in the fighting unless there's mutual respect because you know the person, or if you defeat the person, they're going to respect you, or likewise, if they defeat you, you're going to respect them, or you're going to hate them and they're going to hate you. Yeah, I was seeing those wrestlers talking. The guy that hold him back, saying that he did something to him too on his nose. That he hit him also, and he wanted to fight him, but they uh, they stopped him from fighting, and he's mad because he got hit. I guess he hit him in the nose or something. This guy was going for some, I don't know, man. But anyway, so much about those individuals. I was talking about here tonight with the spirit knows the spirit through Jesus Christ. So what happened to the guy that said they had a werewolf story? They never clicked on the link. But since see, I got a couple of werewolf stories. I have a being stationed in Fort Hood for 8.5 years in the cavalry. I even have a hat somewhere of the cavalry because that's where I spent most of my military career was in Fort Hood, Texas, in the Cav. Uh, I remember it was down in Blackwell multi-use range where we're doing gunneries, and we did the day fire, and then it was a night fire. So we went down range. You have to qualify your tank. You have to get above 700 in order to be qualified in your tank. If you can't get over 700 points, then you have to go to another run and try to requalify. So, the highest the highest you can get is 1,000 points, right? And it goes by time, and it goes by if you're saying the right commands and stuff like that. We had done that, and we're going to go get evaluated. As we're going to go get evaluated, we're walking. It was me, my TC, tank commander. We had the loader and the driver behind us. I was a sergeant, and we're walking towards the debriefing tent, which was nearby the wood line. It was a tent with camo over it, and they had those generators with the lights. So we're walking towards the light. They had like coffee and soup, right? So as we were walking that ways, we noticed something by the tree line. We seen this, like I believe it was like two or three of them that were standing along the edge of the wool line, and me and my tank commander, Staff Sergeant Brooks at the time, I said, "Do you see that?" And he said, "Yeah, I see that." And then by the time we turned back to look, they were gone. What we know witnessed, what people want to call what people call a dogman. I know them as werewolves or lycanthropes, but more mainly werewolves. They were standing. They're pretty tall, standing by the edge of the wall line, looking at us. There was three of them, but it was weird how we looked at each other, and by the time we turned back real quick, within maybe not even a second or 2 seconds, they were gone. But we witnessed them, we seen them, and I asked them, "What What do you think the f that was?" And he said, "Well, sometimes we just have to leave things from Mother Nature alone and leave it up to Mother Nature." He said, "There's things out here within Mother Nature that we don't know about, and we just left it at that." But that happened on Blackwell Multi-Use Range on Fort Hood, the main range where we qualified our M1 Abrams tanks. They were big, man. I would say so. It was a hill. They're above the wall line. We're down toward the lower ground. They had to be like, man, around 13 to 50 foot tall. They were huge. And it was no deer because they were literally standing on toes. Trust me, I've seen a lot of deer. I've seen cougars. I've seen wildcats. Now and I've seen dark shadow figures out there at nighttime. The dark shadow figures that people talk about, I used to see them on Fort Hood all the time. But that was not no deer what we seen or no elk. That was definitely something beastly. Now, was it something in the flesh, or was it something that was in spirit form, disembodied? I'm thinking it was something disembodied because if it was something real, it would have come and tried to attack us, right? But it didn't. But it disappeared when we looked back. It just disappeared. They were gone that fast. Those that we seen that night, they had brownish, like a brownish fur on them, color brown. Yeah, well, what happened on Fort Hood, that was back, that happened when I was in the military. That happened in like 1995, 1994. But I had already been witnessing things because when I got in a cab, I was like 1991. At the end of 1991 is when I got in a cab, or mid 1991. But yeah, that incident happened like in 94, 95. What we witnessed out there. What happened in Elms Grove? That was uh, in the 2000s because I moved in Elms Grove in 2002. So it was around 2003 or 2004 when a lot of things happened, and from there on to 2015 is when I was witnessing a lot of things in Elms Grove, which was still Killeen, which Killeen and Fort Hood are side by side. Same land, same terrain. Oh yeah, Andres, they were huge, man. The dark shadow figures, they're massive over there. You know, when we talk about the DDN, the disembodied demonic Nephilim, those suckers are huge. I got off my tank, you know, and when when you're out there, you don't have the lights on like when you drive at nighttime. When you cross a cattle range, it's all blackout mode. You know, if you do have lights, they're blackouts. The only way you can see them, the blackouts, is through your night vision. So nighttime, we have night vision. It's not like when you drive your car and you got your lights and your high beams. We don't have none of that. It's all done. How shall I say? Strategically, uh, in blackout mode. So I was able to see when I would get off the tank because I had to go, you know, do the number one. I could see this dark shadow figures pass. Sometimes I'll be pink. Just put it this way: me standing on the front slope, peeing to the front as I'm urinating. Then you see the dark shadow figures pass by the tank, and they're taller than me, standing on top of the tank on the front slope. They're easily like 50 foot tall. These dark shadow figures. I'll see like four of them passing right beside the tank, and I'll stop. You know, I had to stop my urination because I seen four huge things walk by the tank, but they're in disembodied form, in spirit form, but they're massive. We got Sister Ivy Ramirez. Yeah, they're pretty big. Uh, Andres on Fort Hood. Well, you seen the one that I shared with y'all. Do I have the video? Let me see if I can find the video. How tall that one is? That one's huge. And that's the one that I caught during the day. Let me see if I can find it for y'all. I think I made a short reel out of it. See if I can find it. I think that one was taken. Let me see if I can find it first. Oh, here it is. And this you can see this one because it's during the day. During the day. Here you go. Let me share with y'all. Let me share the original picture. Let me see if y'all can see that. I'm just gonna play it. It's standing right here. This is the road, and it's standing right there. Let me push play. See what y'all seeing. You're gonna be able to see it because I did a close up of it. Yeah, that's tall, man. That is gotta be around over 50 foot tall. There it is, right there. You can see it perfectly right there. Oops. We'll stop it in a moment. Where He lights up. There we go. There you go. There it is, right there. That picture, that's from Nolanville, in which you got Killeen, Harker Heights, the Nolanville, and that was taken in Nolanville, and that one's tall. Yeah, that's real tall. You can see it right here where it's standing there. If I show you the real picture, you're going to see how tall it is because there's signs on that road, and it's way taller than that sign, than the signs that are on the road. So let's play it and go to the original picture. Here it is. That's how tall it is. This is the road. That's how tall it is. That's huge, man. I would say 15 to 16 or taller than that because yeah, that's huge. There you go. We'll get it to that photo. That's huge, man. Okay, let me stop sharing that for right now. For second two, I believe that is what people want to call the dog man, but to me, it's a DDN, disembodied demonic Nephilim, of which they're the reason it looks black is because it's an unclean spirit, and if you look at them, it looks like the color black, but it also can look like smoke, right? Because they're an unclean spirit. So when you look at them, they look like black like that, but they have their beastly manifestation. But they can disappear in a if you start praying or you can just they'll disappear and go away. They can be there and then just poof, they can disappear in a puff of smoke. Something that is real in the flesh is not going to do that. If it's in the flesh, it's going to be there. You know, whether it's looking at you, growling at you, jumps over the fence that's there, it's going to be looking at you, and you're going to see it. It's not going to disappear. So when it disappears, is because that's what it is, a disembodied spirit. I call them the DDN, disembodied demonic Nephilim. They're amongst us in disembodied form, in spirit form. They got destroyed during the flood of Noah, which were they were the offsprings of the washers. Their vessel got destroyed during the great flood, and the only thing that remains from them is their disembodied form, in which they look dark, like a. It looks like it's a creature that's dark, right, black, but it's really their spirit form because they roam earth. They don't have a vessel. They don't have a body, so they roam earth to see what vessels they can possess, who they can attack. They attack the vessel to destroy the vessel. That's what they do. But yeah, they're amongst us spiritually. Okay, let me see. I was watching Vikundov the other night, and someone called him out defending Dogman. Oh, they don't kill people. They want to. Uh, I'm just telling you, man, that I'm telling you what they are. They're they're demons. That's what they are. What do you think? They're always watching. I'll show it to you that it was watching. The reason they're watching is because that's what the creators would do. They were called the Watchers. They were watching over mankind. They decided to sleep with the women. When they slept with the women and the Nephilim were created, the women that slept with, their bodies changed, in which they turned beastly. Some of the women turned into harpies, which in Spanish we call it chusas, but harpies, and some turned into sirens, which they're from the ocean. So you got the harpies and the sirens that they call themselves sisters because they were the creators of the Watchers. So the watch the I mean they were the creators of the Nephilim. So the Nephilim were giants on Earth, but then there's some Watchers were in the ocean also. They're everywhere, but they're in disembodied form. I think somebody said the other day, well, that some of the Watchers are still alive in the ocean if the sirens, right, the sirens still lived, if they were creators of some of the Nephilim, right? But the Nephilim were the giants, and they all got destroyed. Uh, which that's what their bodies are, run around Earth in disembodied form, in spirit form. Yeah, yeah. I've heard of it kind of show, man. He got me there, but he didn't share the story like I told him. He just cut pieces and whatever. Uh, I have proof, man. That I was just telling them to say things because I had proof. That's the thing. There's a lot of people that jump on there and say a story like you hear people say, "I killed a dog, man," but they had no pictures or anything. I got proof here on Spiritual Encrypted Encounters of what I speak about. You want to see a picture of this Nephilim that they're in spirit form? If y'all want to see a picture of this Nephilim in spirit form, give me a thumbs up and a share with y'all. Because I got ambushed by them. I got ambushed by them as they tried to destroy me. I got a picture. If y'all want to see this picture, I created a short reel out of it. Let me find it for y'all. Give me a thumbs up and I'll share it with you so you can see what a Nephilim looks like in spirit form. I can share it with y'all. Let me find the picture. Give me the thumbs up. I have a lot of short reels, brothers and sisters, here. A lot of evidence here in Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. We just don't say stories here. We don't. We have proof. That's one thing that I believe in is annotate stuff, capture stuff, and share it with the audience so they can understand where you're coming from. Let me see. I can find the one of the ones that ambushed me. Here we go. Is that it right here? Let me see. No. What I'm gonna do is send a picture and share a picture of those. Okay, I'll share the picture. Let me get to the picture. Think you'll benefit more out of the picture. Let me go through my picture, brothers and sisters, whoever's tuning in, and I'll share it with you. Got so many pictures, brothers and sisters. It's crazy. Lots of pictures. There we go. I'm going to send them over so you can check it out. Okay. I see all the thumbs up. Hello, brother Jaime, Stephanie. Here we go, brothers and sisters. Oops.
A nurse who was on the scene, an occupation.
Wrong one. Here's the original picture of this. You know, I told you that there are unclean spirits, demonic spirits. Here's an example of that. It was happened early in the morning as I'm walking. I feel a lot of weight on top of me, and I get dropped to one knee by something real heavy. And as I'm dropped on the ground, one of my arms, both of my arms, get pulled to the back, like somebody's holding my arms, one on each side. Then my head starts pressing against my neck, like something's trying to hold my neck down. And that's when I say God help me. When I say God help me, I'm let go, and whatever's there is not there. But when I get up, I feel very lightheaded, very tired. That I stumbled back home, and I had no energy. I was out cold all day. Uh, now I told you they look like smoke, unclean spirits. I'm giving an example of that, how they look, brothers and sisters. That's why it's important to always maintain a heavenly love foundation and tie, bind, and rebuke these unclean spirits in Jesus Christ's name. Give it a little bit color so you can see. If we had a little bit more color, that's how they would look. So there you go. Here's just unclean spirits that I talked to you about that I call the DDN, disembodied demonic Nephilim. I got ambushed, but thank God that I was able to survive what I went through in Elms Grove. There you go. I see somebody said there's a troll in here. Who's a troll here? You can't this dog man that that everybody's talking about. They're not in the flesh, man. They're spiritually. You can't kill something in the spirit. It's already dead. But you can fight it spiritually through Jesus Christ. So somebody's warning somebody here. Who's this person here? Whoever this person's name, nuclear false flag, imminent. I don't know about all that, but boom. I send the troll away. I don't know. But there they are, brothers and sisters. I think I have dark shadow figures. They're very real, spiritual real. Imagine if it was nighttime, then people will see their silhouettes. I'll put it to the side for right now. There you go. You want to see one during the day that it passes right in front of me? If y'all want to see that one, give me a thumbs up. Some people call them shadow figures, but I believe they're the same. That's the same things that people see in the woods because they move real fast. So the people's minds is going to play games on them. So they're going to think it's I think I seen a Bigfoot. Oh, I think I seen a dog man. Ooh, I think I saw a goat man. But they're demons. I'm not worried about none of those individuals. About none of those individuals. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. They come, trust me, they try to come at me in a negative way, then I got to do what I got to do, physically or spiritually. Don't matter to me. Here's one that I'm going to post up during the day. I mean, at nighttime, in my room. I'll play. See how I can. It's even got audio. All right. Let me post it for y'all, brothers and sisters. Let me post it. Let me. Here we go. Let me post it. Y'all ready for this? To go for long runs, so long you're doing something. Your health is staying physically active. You don't have to lift a lot of weights. You don't have to go for long runs, so long you're doing something. Oh, y'all seen that, brothers and sisters? Something is pissed off. So they like. I know y'all seen that. I just seen like a dark shadow figure pass right in front of me, and it went past me by the light. Your health is staying physically active. You don't have to lift a lot of weights. You don't have to go for long runs, so long you're doing something. Oh, y'all seen that, brothers and sisters? Something is pissed off. So they like. I don't know if y'all seen that. I just seen like a dark shadow figure pass right in front of me, and it went past me by the light. Okay, I'm gonna show one slower motion. There it is. That is pretty huge, brothers and sisters. There it is. I'll let it play a little bit so I can see it how big it is. All righty. I don't think he played the. Did he play the one that was going slow motion, guys? Let me see if I can play it for y'all. I don't know if he played it or not. There it is. The one that's slow motion. Let me try to catch up on the comments here. There we go. Yeah, I was thinking about doing a 2-hour show tonight. We're an hour and 50 minutes. And tomorrow we have OPEC Mic Night, where the audience, the viewers are able to come. I'll paste the link and you're able to come and share your stories, whoever's interested. Tomorrow night at 11 o'clock, we'll have open mic night, which is on. We have open mic night on Tuesdays and Thursdays for whoever's interested. But and on Wednesdays we have World Wednesday. On Fridays we have Lechuza Friday, which Brujos Lechuza Friday, which is out like Lechuza is like a harpy. But yeah, open mic night. We talk about everything. Any stories that you, whether it be paranormal, cryptid, or an experience, whatever the experience you went through, you're more than welcome to come join us tomorrow, or should I say later on tonight, because we're at 1 in the morning, 11 p.m. Central Time. We'll start the live. I know I might just go earlier. I might go start at 10. You see, I try to not to do lives when somebody else is doing a live, because I do live just about every day, and there's some people they don't do lives all the time, but I don't want to interrupt their time frame. So that's why I always go for around 11, sometimes 11:30. I'm fixing to. I'm thinking about calling it early night tonight, Andres. So like that, I'll have some energy for tomorrow night for open mic night. But I'll share another video before I go. You want to see something creepy? You want to see another crazy video? I still got a little bit of time here. Let me see. What do you want to see? I'll show you a video that I like showing for World Wednesdays. It's like a pretty popular video. Let me see if I can share with y'all. Let me find it first. There it is. Is it? There we go. Let me play it for y'all. So that we can finish off on a good note. Check out this video. Let me start it from the beginning. There you go. There it is right there. I'll let it run. See how I can see it. It opens his mouth and closes his mouth. And it's huge. I think I'm gonna have a closer up video, but that's showing you how big it is. It's pretty big, and it's following me. This was in Elms Grove, the other side of Elms Grove in Killeen, Texas, and it was following me. It was by the creek, and it was following me in the woods as I was walking. It was in the woods as I was walking on the grass and on the terrain, and it kept on saying run, kept on saying run. Hopefully your mic will be able to work, brother Jaime. I know the times that you try to do a live that you might have problems with your mic. I can do. Let me see. I can find a close up of it, a closer look of it. Okay. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. Let me try to find a closer look so we can take a closer look at it. Think of let me get to it and show where it's a little bit closer because I got made it closer with a video. There it is. Here's the one that's closer, I believe. This one? Yes. All right, here we go. Let me share it. Get a closer look at it. Yeah, a lot of the short reels, brothers and sisters, a lot of this, a lot of this footage that I'm sharing is things that I've captured when I've done my investigations, and I'm sharing it here with y'all. This is from TikTok. Abe CS 895 is my TikTok. I have a lot of short videos there, short reels on TikTok. If you ever want to check it out, uh, TikTok doesn't take away from the picture as YouTube does. YouTube will take away the width from your video, so you lose some of your video. But on TikTok, I'm able to post and it doesn't take anything away. So I recommend HCS 895 on TikTok. If you want to go subscribe there or follow me, I always place videos there. I haven't placed one in a while because I've been taking a break from the videos, but I will again start posting videos again soon. There it is. It opens and closes his mouth. Yeah, because every time that you jump on Jaime, it interrupts the live feed because there's so much noise and echo in the background that it causes interruption. So I don't know what's going on with your phones, or if you don't got a headset, or what's going on. But that's what normally happens, or you lose connection. There you go. I think I have a picture of it too, like a close up of the face. Let me find that one. I'll share it with y'all. The close up of the face. Yeah, one of the facial expressions of the face. Here we go. Where it's got his mouth open and sticking out his freaking tongue. Well, the manifestation, or if it's real, I don't know. But to me, I feel that they're spiritual, that they're able to manifest to look that way. So here we go. Let me share this one. This is just a still reel of it when he's got his mouth open. You can see the teeth. You can see like some horns here. Possible demon. Looking like a beastly. See the horns right here? It's the face. We push play. I placed other filters on there so y'all can see the face. Well, that one there, Shrine, that is a still. I took just a screenshot of it with its mouth open from the short reel that I was showing you, where there was all kinds of movement. Yeah, I don't think it was happy that I was there in its terrain. See, I do have evidence here in spiritual encrypted encounters. That I shared here with the members of spiritual encrypted encounters. It's kind of like when I was on Big Kunda show. I told him my story of everything that I was going through there, but he took out the spiritual aspect out of it, and he shared it how he wanted to share it, like trying to make it seem like they're second of flesh and blood creature. But what he didn't know is that I had evidence, that I had proof of this how they looked. As you can see, I'm showing you the proof. I've been having proof. It's just sometimes, you don't want, certain things, certain organizations for the government to know that you have evidence of anything, right? But that's okay. Uh, and I had this evidence to prove the fact that what I'm saying or what I said was the truth. And that's why I share the evidence here in spiritual encrypted encounters, because I do have the proof, the spiritual proof, and I've been sharing it just a little bit and I have a lot more. I have a lot more evidence that I have on my short reels. The short reels that I got there's a lot of evidence there. You just have to watch them to see it. Evidence is there that these creatures are in disembodied form, in spirit form, aka DDN, disembodied demonic Nephilim, unclean spirits. They're amongst us, brothers and sisters. That's what I tell people: stay prayed up. Maintain your heavenly love foundation. Don't go to sleep angry. Don't wake up angry. Tie, bind, and rebuke that in Jesus Christ's name. Maintain your heavenly love foundation and your peace. If you have unforgiveness, forgive, because all those are spiritual openings. If you have hatred, anger, vengeance, if you're believing in things, those are spiritual openings where these demons that I'll show you how some of them look, or some of the manifestations, because they can look like anything, that they'll use that opening that you have to attack you spiritually. Imagine that they're not going to attack you like they're flesh blood creatures. They're going to attack you spiritually, in which they try to attach themselves to you and cause all kinds of sicknesses and all kinds of things on you. And if you don't have the wisdom and knowledge to understand what you're going through, then how are you going to tie, bind, and rebuke them in Jesus Christ's name if you don't have a relationship with Jesus Christ, or you might not believe in Jesus Christ? How are you going to fight them spiritually if you don't have a relationship with Jesus Christ? Because the only way you can fight them is spiritually is through Jesus Christ. That's what I tell you. These people talking about that they're flesh and blood creatures, they want you to believe they're real. So if you believe in this Bigfoots, Dogman, and whatever other names I want to name these cryptids are real, then that's the opening that these demons got to attack you. Because if you're believing in the manifestation and they're behind the manifestation, then you're believing in the demon. And that's the opening is using to attack a lot of people in the paranormal community, cryptic community, or whatever genre, right? That's what they use. Belief, Some people ask me, how come they take the beast of manifestation? For the fear factor. Fear is a spiritual opening. What do they growl? What do they talk a different language? He said they're identifying themselves to you what they are. When they're talking a different language, Latin, or they're talking a different language, it's because they're telling you they're demons. They said, well, the dogman made a pig noise. Hello. How did it sound? Well, it sounded like a herd of pigs. It's because it let you know that it's the legion. Indirectly, it's letting you know what you're dealing with. But if you don't have the wisdom and knowledge what you're facing, then how are you going to be able to fight it spiritually? And that's what spiritual encrypted encounters is about. Giving you the wisdom and knowledge to be able to awaken spiritually, to be able to fight this unseen forces, because it's a spiritual war we're at right now. Spiritual warfare is here. You have to prepare yourself, not yourself. You got to protect your next of kin. You have to teach them to stay prepared to be able to fight spiritually. Because if you don't teach them, then how are they going to know? What do you think they took the Our Father away from the schools, and they don't want to bring Jesus Christ in the equation at all? Because that's the only way to be able to fight them is through Jesus Christ. There's a lot of wicked. Our governments are wicked, man. I'm just bringing the spiritual awareness here on Spiritual Encrypted Encounters, so you can prepare for the spiritual warfare. I've been fighting for a very long time, brother and sister, spiritually, since I was a kid all the way up to now. So the only thing I do is share. I just don't share a story with you. I'll show you proof, right? Yeah. I'll give you an example of that, of what I'm talking about. There was one evening I was in the living room and I was watching a movie. I think it was a Saturday night. This happened about a year and a half ago. And I was walking to my room and I seen a dark shadow figure standing outside my son's room, like standing outside his room. I looked at it and it looked at me, and I told him, "You're not welcome here. Leave my home." And it took off. He left. I went into my son's room, opened the door. He was playing video game. And I said, "Son, can I talk to you?" No, he wasn't even playing video game. He was laying down. I said, "Yeah, Dad." I said, "Son, is there anything strange happening around you for a while now? Because I'm just asking you this question." He said, "Why do you want to know this, Dad?" I said, "Because I feel that there's something wrong. Something ain't right. I feel there's something happening to you, but you're not letting me know." And he's looked at me and he's got this weird look on his face. I said, "Well, Dad, so there's been something happening where I'm trying to go to sleep. And as I'm trying to go to sleep, there's this voice that comes and he's trying to tell me things, trying to tell me to do this. And I ask him for advice and it gives me advice. And it's telling me these things." And I said, "Son," then he's like, and then he looks at me and said, "How do you know?" So how do you know that I'm going through something, Dad? So I'm your father. Mainly and I told him I was walking past your room and I seen this dark shadow figure standing in front of your room. So, he freaked out when I told him, and I said, "It's not your friend. A dark shadow figure is not your friend. It's an unclean spirit, maybe even a demon, but I sent it away." So I said, how can we take care of it?" I said, "You're going to come with me and we're going to pray in the living room." So I grabbed his hands and he grabbed mine. And we prayed. He asked God for forgiveness, repented for any kind of sins. He asked God for forgiveness for having hatred or anger in his heart. And we prayed. And I told him that from now on, if things come to him in that nature, to send it away, tell it it's not welcome. Type on rebuke in Jesus Christ's name. And that's what he's been doing. And like I said, these things, if they can't attack you, they're going to try to go after one of your loved ones. So we have to prepare our loved ones, our next of kin, to be able to fight the good fight. Good night, Jaime. Have a good one. Spiritual warfare is very real. Sometimes people don't understand when somebody's going through something, right? Because what they're going through could be something different than what an ordinary person might be going through. That will make sense because what they're going through is just part of life, right? Somebody might be going through something that there's openings to get spiritually attacked because the openings are there, right? Sometimes uses people to come up against people because it wants them to. I'm talking about people that are bonded. They don't want to let them go. It wants to keep them bonded. They don't want to free them. Here on Spiritual Encrypted Encounters, I don't see any color, and I don't discriminate against anybody spiritually, because that's not what it's about. We're supposed to help out one another as brothers and sisters in Christ. Even if it's prayer, or we pray for people, even if it's giving advice, that's what we do. Because you don't know what somebody might be going through. And we're not nobody to judge anybody. That's between them and the Heavenly Father, them and Jesus Christ. So I just try to help out people spiritually here, brothers and sisters. But the important thing is to always maintain a heavenly love foundation. You know how when I was going through what I was going through, that in Elms Grove, that people didn't understand what I was getting bombarded from all directions. I was getting bombarded spiritually, bombarded through the VA. I was being bombarded through where I lived. I was being bombarded by people, because these unseen forces, they were using anybody they can use to come up against me. And guess what? I'm still here. I'm still here making a difference in this world. And I'm going to continue to be here regardless of whatever anybody thinks of the works that I do. I've been doing these works for a very long time, and I'm going to continue. They can't stop me from giving the power and glory to the Heavenly Father, praising Jesus Christ. They can't stop me from type and rebuking unclean spirits, type and rebuking people that are being targeted to witchcraft or narcomancy. Of course, I do it all through Jesus Christ. Nobody's going to stop me from doing that, because that's what I do. I've been doing it for a very long time. I could get some of my friends from a long time ago to share what I did for them, but I don't have to, because y'all seen it happen here. what I can do for people spiritually. So I'm not just doing the talk. I do the walk daily. He said the spirit knows the spirit. Spirit knows. You know if somebody has a good spirit in them, and you know if somebody might have an unclean spirit in them, because the spirit knows the spirit. That's why some of the things that I catch on camera. That's not that I'm looking for them. It just happens that way. I used to do nature trail walks and talk about Jesus Christ and talking to the. I might have had like maybe what 10, 12 viewers because I would do it off of Facebook, off of my groups, Positive Spiritualist or Spiritual Encrypted Encounters, and I have like a couple of viewers, right? But then I decided to start doing the YouTube thing, but I noticed that they started bombarding me there. I used to have like 8,000 views in one show, right? Just by doing it off my phone. But then I seen the poor quality of some of those videos because I was having problems. I don't know what was going on. So I decided to start doing my live streams or restream, which has been pretty calm and mellow here. But yeah, you know what your calling is. Everybody knows what their calling is. Everybody knows where they stand spiritually. You know, I know where I stand, just like you know where y'all stand. Follow your heart, follow your spirit. It will guide you. And I'll show the shirt one more time here. If nobody knows who this is, you should check out the show. It's called Kojak. I think they have it on Netflix. Might have it on Peacock also. I'm not sure. You just have to look that name right there. It's a series, an old series from back in the day. It's Kolchak. Kojak. But in saying that, brothers and sisters, I just want to say thank you to those that tune in, that support Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. And like I said before, if you're going through something or you need help, spiritual advice, you can contact me through Messenger. If you don't want to do it in this platform, you can always contact me through Messenger under Abe Cias. Tell me what you're going through. Tell me what you're experiencing, and I will be able to help you. I'll give you the spiritual advice to help you to what you're going through. That's what we do here in Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. Let me see. I could share one more thing here for y'all. See what I can find. What else I can share for y'all? Here's a note picture from Elms Grove Estates. You know, some people say it's a bruja. I don't know. They say it's a witch. I don't know. I just captured it and I made a little show reel out of it. I know it was a tree sprite, a lechuza, but I'll share it with y'all. Here we go. It's an old picture. Like I said before, the spirit knows the spirit. There, definitely right there is a spirit of something on the tree. To me, it looks like it's got like a rope around its neck. I'm not sure, but you can see the face right here, the arms, you can see the leg. It looks like it's got a cat or something on his. Looks like a cat. And this picture was taken in Elms Grove Estates in Killeen, Texas. Hey, how you doing, bro? I thought you were asleep. This is like one of the first pictures that I took in Elms Grove, brother and sisters. This picture, I was walking in the path of Elms Grove, and I heard something whisper something to me. When I looked to where the whisper was, there was a tree. And then I heard the whisper again. So when I heard the whisper again, is when I took the picture. I didn't think nothing of it. When I got back home and I was looking at the footage of looking at the picture, I was able to see that on the tree. So that was like one of my first captures there in Elms Grove. One of my first captures of, I guess, a spirit knows a spirit, of a spirit of a witch. You could hear her at nighttime laughing out of those woods. Like, she'll laugh so hard that it'll echo through the park. You're able to hear her, and you can hear a male voice laughing also out of the woods. But definitely her presence in those woods. But the shapeshifter skinwalkers can mimic voices as a DDN can. It's all out of witchcraft and necromancy. So you got to be careful, right? What you see, not to give power to, for example, this manifestation, or give power to what you're hearing through the disembodied voices, or if they're laughing, not to give a power that there's somebody in the woods. Stay away. Just like ignore it. Pray to yourself that whatever that is not allowed to follow you home. Or you have to type on and rebuke it in Jesus Christ's name and send it away. There we go. Let me see what time we got. Yeah. But in saying that, I'm calling it a night, brother and sisters. I went an extra. I was trying to stick to 2 hours. But sometimes I think, man, I do the show for 3 or 4 hours. I wonder who's going to watch the replay, because that's 2-3 hours, Awesome, Shrine. Tomorrow we have open mic night. If whoever wants to come on the show, you got a story to share. Tomorrow will be the night. I'm thinking about starting early, like around 10 o'clock tomorrow night. I'm not sure. 10:30 or 10:30, or normally go live at 11. Depends who's on live. If other people are live, I'm gonna start at 11. But if not, I might start early. I don't know. But it's open mic night later on tonight. saying that, thank you to anybody that subscribed or hit the like buttons. Thank you all much for doing that. Thank you for tuning in. Again, tomorrow, or should I say later on today, will be open mic night. This is Brother Abe Cias, Soren Cias signing off from Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. Everybody have a beautiful, blessed evening. God bless you and have a good night.